Back at 5-on-5. Burnham speeds to the bench, now jumps into the play. Walking the line, William Moore. Moore's pass cut there by Harding. Harding trying to clear, can't do it. Forte Smith now for Matheson. Nice move by Matheson through center. In over the blue line, Matheson a shot. Glove save made by Hayden Jeffrey, and he'll hold on. Trow will go to the right of Jeffrey. Ewan McChesney lines up for the face-off for Chatham as Richard Santos sends out his fourth line for the first time. Puck goes into the corner. It'll be flipped out to neutral ice. Juan Agrameyer tries to get that past Bassick. Now in over the blue line, Petrovsky. Calvin Petrovsky goes around the wall. Here's Ryan Van Netten. Van Netten turned it over to Agrameyer, but Van Netten will regain possession. Van Netten watched by Atkinson. Comes up the wall. Ferguson chips it ahead to McChesney. Ewan McChesney over the blue line. McChesney walking, shooting, scores! Ewan McChesney finds the back of the net and opens the scoring in Game 1 of the Sutherland Cup Final. Neutral zone draw here. McChesney lines up for the face-off against Petrovsky. Draw won by Petrovsky and the Falcons. Played off the boards, Moore out to center, Zanudo giving chase. William Moore chips it in deep. Gannon Hunter out of the crease. Hunter rims it around the glass. Zanudo looking to force it out to the neutral zone. McChesney there. Zanudo up the boards. Zanudo for Ferguson. Cruz Ferguson gives way to Josh Harding. Harding skates down the wing. Harding a shot. Pad save Jeffrey. Comes back up to the line, Van Netten. Van Netten on goal. Jeffrey makes the save again, and he'll hold on for a whistle. Truby stops up, plays it back to Van Netten. Van Netten looks to center. Zanudo's shot just missed the net. Now in the corner, Agrameyer plays it around the wall. Mitch Dimitro. Dimitro off the boards. It's forced out to neutral ice. Van Netten tried to play it back to McChesney. Instead goes up to Zanudo. Zanudo fires it cross ice. Agrameyer knocks it down. McChesney giving chase. Now back out to center. Here's Agrameyer. Agrameyer tried to find Atkinson. It'll be thrown in on goal. Gannon Hunter turns it into the corner. After it, McChesney. Now Truby. Sean Truby drops it back. Ryan Van Netten for Josh Harding. Harding had the go-ahead goal for Chatham against St. Mary's on Tuesday night. Liam Campbell's shot just misses the net. A big hit late on the far. With 3:48 left in this first period. Off the face-off, puck comes back down low. Forte Smith trying to get it towards Bassick. Gates, centering pass. Here's Mustafi. He gets stopped. Forte Smith in the corner. Gets a pass up to McChesney. Here's Ferguson. Ferguson through center. Cruz Ferguson over the blue line. Ferguson throws it on goal. Saved by Jeffrey. And he'll cover up and hold on. Goals in the first period for the young forward. And Chatham leads 4-0. Face-off won by Petrovsky. It'll come to Hibbert. Hibbert up the boards. Fired in deep by Atkinson. Now Burnham off the wall. Out to center, McChesney. McChesney over the blue line. Goes cross ice for Kucher. Kucher back in deep. Giving chase Ferguson. Now McChesney. McChesney back towards Zanudo. It'll be played around the wall. Atkinson. Now Ferguson. Ferguson in deep. Giving chase there, Valancourt. Hibbert able to get it out to center. Here's Burnham. Logan Burnham sends it back to his goaltender, Hunter, who will hold on as Burnham and Atkinson getting into it now. Hunter goes around the wall. Zanudo couldn't get to it. Now back on it is Forrest. Alex Forrest sends a pass to Trent Valancourt. Valancourt through center. Burnham knocks it down. In behind the Chatham goal line, it's Kucher off the wall. Harris tries to throw it out front. That pass gets cut by McChesney. Now two and into the corner. Here's Burnham. Burnham, stick handles. Logan Burnham after it. Plays it ahead to Cruz Ferguson. Ferguson in over the blue line. Ferguson stops up, takes a hit, gets knocked down. Ferguson trying to work it free. Cruz Ferguson towards Ewan McChesney. That one blocked by Harris. Now back through center, Dewar. Dewar skating towards the net. Centering pass! The puck just went wide. What a chance for Marcus Harris to get St. Catharines on the board. Dewar back on it. Dewar around the net, centering feed. That shot sails high. It'll come back to Sam Muty. Muty in around the wall. Here's Burnham. Logan Burnham. Out to center. Mustafi came in offside, so couldn't play the puck. Zanudo, a pass for Kucher. Kucher up the wall. Turned over. Here's Forrest over the blue line. Forrest looking for options. Fires a shot. Glove save, Gannon Hunter. And he'll hold on. Ewan McChesney lines up against Sam Muty here. Off the face-off. McChesney the win. After it, Ferguson. Cruz Ferguson down low. Goes to Burnham. Burnham trying to get around the pressure. Logan Burnham out to center. Trevor Zanudo. Zanudo over the blue line. Zanudo gets stripped of the puck by Moore. William Moore off the wall. Here's Carter Kucher. Kucher for Burnham. Back to Kucher in the direction of Burnham once more. Burnham off the wall. Muty in the direction of Mustafi. He lost the puck, gets it back, tries to center. McChesney cut off the pass as Mustafi took a spill. Here's Moore. Moore around the wall. Hunter for Kucher. Kucher through the center. Zanudo. Now Gates. Trent Gates towards William Moore. Chatham is offside. Zanudo will head to the bench. Ferguson remains offside. Here's Muty. Muty, cross ice pass. Here's a chance for the Falcons again. Muty just put it wide. What a chance. Kucher giving chase. Up to the line, Chadwick can't force it out. Burnham after it in the corner. Here's LaChance. Ian LaChance grabs possession. We get a whistle. The net came off in the Chatham end. LaChance has it in his feet. Goes cross ice. Chadwick over the blue line. Chadwick into the corner. Carter Chadwick takes a hit from Sam Muty. It'll be played back up to the point. McChesney able to hold momentarily. Now forced out to center by Muty. Taken back by McChesney. He sends it down to Ferguson. Centering pass. And Zanudo buries it. McChesney to Ferguson to Zanudo. So St. Catharines brings it back to within 4. McChesney for Kucher. Kucher to Burnham. Ferguson after it. McChesney, cross ice for Kucher. Carter Kucher plays it in deep. After it goes Mitch Dimitro. Here's McChesney. McChesney centers. That pass cut. McChesney back on it. Here's Zanudo. Zanudo finds McChesney. Chance for Ferguson. Couldn't bury it. Zanudo for Kucher. Back to Zanudo. Out front, tried to feed Ferguson. Now here's McChesney for Burnham to McChesney. Down into the corner. Zanudo looks to center, deflected by Moore to the corner. Dewar out through neutral ice. Here's Marcus Harris. Harris going to the net. Couldn't get a shot off. Harris loses possession. McChesney goes off the wall for Ferguson. Trying to get it to Zanudo. That pass was cut by Dimitro. Burnham. Now Harris over the blue line. Gets stripped of the puck. Here's Ferguson the other way. Cruz Ferguson over the blue line. Ferguson a shot save. Saranac. Now Josh Harding holds the line for Chatham. Face off will go to the left of Saranac here. Dimitro off the draw. Plays it up towards Gates. Just missed him. Mustafi pursues it. And that'll be icing again against St. Catharines. So the face-off will come all the way back once more. Of Saranac here. Richter the win on the draw. After it, Bassick. Van Netten into the corner. Here's Richter. Richter bobbles the puck. Gets it back at the line. Richter. Watched by Gates. Richter taken down. Gets back to his feet. Richter. Taken back by Gates. Here's Forrest. Forrest through to Muty. Sam Muty over the blue line. Muty stops up, peels back, makes a move. Muty into the corner. Sam Muty for Dallas Hibbert. Van Netten after it. Hibbert able to work it free. Hibbert going towards the goal. Swept away from him by Blaine Bassick. Centering pass for Marcus Harris never got there. After it, Forrest. Here's Van Netten. Van Netten for Bassick. Bassick all the way down the ice. St. Catharines regroups. A minute left of the 4-on-4. Just over a minute left of the period. Harris over that is McChesney. Zanudo comes in for the faceoff. Draw one by the Maroons. Ferguson to Forche Smith. His shot blocked. Ferguson after it, couldn't get to it. Now through center, Mustafi. Ali Mustafi chips it in deep. Mustafi around the net, hit by Bassick. It'll come back to Ferguson. Now Moore. Fired down low. After it, Mustafi. Moore trying to get to it. Here's Ferguson. Ferguson flips it to McChesney. Ewan McChesney tries to sidestep Muti. Now Dimitro. Dimitro below the goal line. Mustafi. Mustafi looks to get it to Muti. Matheson on it. Matheson plays it down towards McChesney. Didn't quite get to him. After it, Muti. Muti off the wall. Taken back by Dimitro. Mitchell Dimitro through to center. Mustafi deflects it. Down the ice. Forche Smith. Jackson Forche Smith with possession for Chatham. Left it there for Ryan Van Netten. It'll come back to Gannon Hunter. Hunter around the wall. Chadwick after it. Chadwick gets it out to neutral ice. It'll be flipped back in towards Gannon Hunter. A strange bounce, but Hunter able to play it nonetheless. Van Netten through to center. Chadwick a deflection. Alex Forrest in there. Matt Freese pursues it down low. Freese gets it around the boards. Now it'll be played out to the neutral zone. Freese for Dewar. Trayson Dewar over the blue line. Freese takes a spill. Centering pass. Cut there by McChesney. McChesney for Chadwick. Carter Chadwick over the blue line. Takes a hit from Forrest. Chadwick. He takes a bump. McChesney giving chase. Tied up along the wall. Now played out to center by Trayson Dewar. Dewar sends it in deep. Logan Burnham on it. Burnham gets tied up, loses possession of the puck, but McChesney gets it back. McChesney for Chadwick. Chadwick in around the wall. Saranac comes out of the crease. Gets it down the ice. 5 seconds, in the power play. Bassick from his own end. Agrameyer out of the box. Chatham now 1 for 3 on the man advantage in this game. Ferguson over the blue line. Drops it back. Here's Zanudo. Fires a shot. Hit the side of the net. Zanudo tries to go back to Ferguson. It'll be taken by Mustafi. Mustafi turns it over. Ferguson centering pass. That one gets blocked. Cruz Ferguson up to Josh Harding. Harding into the corner. McChesney. Ewan McChesney looks to center for Ferguson. Mustafi after it. Ferguson now towards Harding. Puck is tied up by McChesney. It'll be taken back now by the Falcons. Played out to center. Zanudo. Now after it, Alex Forrest. Forrest banks it off the wall down the ice. Burnham. Burnham around the boards. Connor Hunt. Hunt with it. Plays it ahead to Eben Truby. 3 seconds left of the penalty. Truby out to center. Back at 5-on-5. St. Catharines 0 for 2 on the power play. A collision there near the Falcons bench as McChesney gets it back in over the blue line. Ewan McChesney in the corner. It'll be played back in deep by Harding. Mustafi hit by Chadwick. Now out to center. The Falcons get it. Here's Mustafi again. Mustafi loses possession. Harding takes it back for Chatham. Josh Harding had Truby in his sights, couldn't get the feed in his direction. And offside at the blue line on the Maroons. Dimitro for Moore. Moore for Petrovsky. Petrovsky over the blue line, sends it in. It'll be taken back now by Forche Smith. Jackson Forche Smith lays the body down low. It'll come back to Blaine Bassick. Bassick for Ferguson. Up towards McChesney. Now Zanudo to Ewan McChesney. McChesney with Forche Smith. McChesney, Forche Smith. His shot just goes wide. Hibbert goes off the wall. Bouncing puck, Zanudo after it. Now here's Trent Valancourt. Aggermayer. Ferguson giving chase. Aggermayer into the corner. Van Netten on it. Van Netten takes a big hit down low. He's down to the ice. Now here's Forrest. Forrest, cross ice feed. Sent in deep by Valancourt, bouncing puck, and Hunter will cover up and hold on. Hunter stepping up on his man now. McChesney lines up with Freeze. Extra attacker out there for St. Catharines. Here's Lowe. Lowe into the slot, fires a shot, saved by Gannon Hunter, and he'll hold on. 6 seconds off the clock, but so 7-3 Chatham lead. Zanudo plays it in deep. William Moore with it. Moore down below the goal line. Moore off the glass out to center. Harding knocks it down. Atkinson giving chase. Atkinson fires a shot. Glove save, Gannon Hunter, and he'll hold on. Draw to the right of Hunter. Off the face-off, McChesney flips it into his own bench, and so we'll try again from the Chatham end. Hunter, pardon me, draw to the right of Hunter. Puck comes back up to the blue line. Moore, William Moore fires a shot. That one deflected into the corner. After it, Mustafi. Now Harding. Harding off the wall, back at the line. That shot turned away by Hunter. After it, Muty. Here's McChesney. McChesney off the boards. Shot from the line. Glove save. Gannon Hunter yet again. It will be 4-on-4. Both guys to the room. Turnover, Harris. Great glove save. Gannon Hunter flashing the leather on a Friday night. Face off. Won by St. Catharines. That shot off the draw missed the net. Cruz Ferguson with it. Ferguson skates through center for the Maroons. Ferguson over the blue line. Ferguson tried to get to the net. He gets blocked by Tuin. Here's William Moore. Moore, cross ice. Tuin, out to center. Harris. Harris drops it back. Tuin off the wall. McChesney. McChesney in the corner. Ewan McChesney skates ahead for Chatham. McChesney over the blue line. Makes the move. McChesney to the goal. Stopped by Saranac. Last minute of the third period. Ferguson up the line, gets the return pass, plays it down towards McChesney. Here's Burnham. Burnham evades the pressure. Burnham trying to get to the net, he gets blocked. Dewar kicks at it. Taken back now by William Moore. Moore skates through center into the offensive zone. Moore goes after the corner. Kucher lays the body on him as the 244s get tied up. McChesney, watched by Harris. Now Burnham. Burnham drops it back to McChesney. Ewan McChesney for Logan Burnham. Burnham takes a hit. It'll come to Aggermayer. Aggermayer around the net. Up to Hibbert at the line. 9 seconds of this one. His shot blocked. Aggermayer after it. And the Chatham Maroons will take game 1 of the Sutherland Cup final. We're not done yet. Burnham getting into it here.